Okay. So welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. I mean, it's been a really long time since I've been able to come to you live and to present, what's near and dear to my heart. And yeah, I'm just thrilled to be here, to be able to share my gifts and what's been percolating for me lately. So, okay, so people are still coming in. Melissa K from Massachusetts. Yay. So happy to see you here, Melissa. So excited to have you here. And we're just going to wait a few moments more. And, as we're waiting for people to enter, I do encourage you to shut down any other windows you may have up, any other browsers open, and really to come in and be fully present, because how present we are is how open we are to receiving. So there's a little bit of noise, background noise. I hope that it doesn't interfere too much, but yeah, so, and let's take a moment actually right now as people are coming into the webinar. Let's take a moment to just center ourselves. And let's just connect with our inner being for a moment. Just take some deep breaths. Really just come into that still place within you, that peaceful place. And just releasing any tension, anything that's not serving you right now, just release that. And I invite you to set the intention to receive what you most need to receive today. So that could be, a feeling of nourishment, of being filled up with new and exciting information, or that could just be some clarity around something you want to know about more. And this could actually be just a time out for you from a busy day. So set the intention to receive whatever it is you most need to receive right now. Beautiful. Okay, so coming back in, welcome back. You can open your eyes. I've prepared a little presentation, so I'm going to share my screen so you can follow along with these slides. Okay. So the 3 key signs you are an initiate of the sacred feminine and how to join forces with her to save our world. This is today's topic, and I'm just so excited about it. It's something that has been percolating and has been coming up just very organically in my work with women over the past few years. It's just something that has been arising within me, within my clients, and it's been really fostering the container that the containers that I've been creating and holding with women for healing and transformational work. And it's been really powerful to join forces with the feminine in this way as we're doing our healing work. So yeah, so this is a result of all that has been coming up, and I'm just so excited to share it with you. Okay, so a little bit about me, because some of you may not know me yet, and I wanted to just briefly touch on what I do, what I currently do, which is I'm an embodied feminine leadership coach, and I really work on spiritual and professional levels. So both of those levels. And I really do work with women that are change makers. They know it, they feel it in their bones. They want to make an impact on the world. They want to use their gifts in service of the new earth that is arriving, that is on her way. And these women are really willing to do this work. They're willing to put in the time, put in the emotional grit, I guess you could say, to alchemically heal their personal shadow. And really, as a consequence of that, they're healing the collective shadow. So there's a lot of alchemical feminine, um, healing happening within the containers that I create. And primarily, I do this by helping my clients to awaken to the profound power of their cyclical nature. And this can be, their own cycle, their menstrual cycle as a full cycle, not just the time of menstruation, or the lunar cycles. That is a very potent way to align with the governing intelligence that is what the cycle is made up of. It's, there's an organic intelligence that is guiding us. And it's the same organic intelligence that is guiding creation, that is guiding the seasons and how this world came to be. So, and to me, that's the sacred feminine. So we really are working in tandem with the feminine to unearth our gifts, to really fortify and strengthen ourselves to bring forth, the talents and the skills that we've been given in this lifetime to bring forth our legacy, our purpose, our sacred purpose. So that's a little bit about, how I work. And I guess I would mention that, I'm fiercely dedicated to this work because I really personally have had so much transformation, and in the best of ways, due to my apprenticeship with my cycle. I call it an apprenticeship with my cycle, because it's like she's training me, she's moving me, she's guiding me, she's working me psychologically, building my muscles, my spiritual muscles. And this was from doing even very small tweaks to how I live my everyday life, but they've had dramatic effects in just on all levels: psychological, mental, physical, and emotional. So I'm really on fire for this work. I'm passionate. I've joined a program, a training program, to really bring this work into the world in a clear and concise way, in a powerful way. So yeah, I'm just so excited about it. Okay, so oh, and I guess I'll add that I have created an intention. At the beginning of the year, I created this intention, and I didn't really know exactly where it was going to take me, but my intention was to help connect 1,000 women to the sacred feminine, 1,000 or more women to the sacred feminine. And I just was wondering if I pressed record, but I think I did. Yes, I see the light pulsating. Okay, good. So you'll hear more in a little bit about why this intention kind of came about. But for now, I feel that this presentation is and my work with one-on-one with women is really just the beginning of so much more that is to come. And I'm so excited about it all. And I'm so happy you are all here to join in on this. Okay, so let's move on. Oh, and how fun is that little crown that this slideshow made me a goddess, and I was really excited about it. So I had to go with it. Okay, next slide. So what is initiation? So initiation is a rite of passage marking the entrance into a new level of knowledge, consciousness, and or spiritual experience. Now, initiation can also be an initiation into a group or, a new group, but we're not really talking about that today. We're talking about the kind of initiation that is a spiritual and psychological initiation, where we have a death and a rebirth takes place in our state of being. So I'll actually pose the question to you. Can you think of a time when you underwent a process of psychological death and rebirth? And as you're maybe typing or thinking about that, I'll share a couple of cornerstone initiations in my life, just for fun, and really that exemplify initiation, I believe. So, so the first one that comes to mind always is my initiation into a spiritual way of living, which came from joining AA, and really it didn't come from joining the group of AA as much as being given the tools to live a spiritually led life. They give you tools that I wasn't aware of before, such as, meditation and prayer. And then they introduce to you the concept of a higher power. And for me, I didn't grow up religious, so it was kind of relatively easy for me to adapt or adopt a notion of a higher power, because I hadn't been kind of like, indoctrinated by religion, and I was pretty much a clean slate when it came to God. I had this concept of God, but I really didn't I didn't pray to a higher power unless I was like really, really scared or in fear about my losing my life, or and it was a transactional God. It was a God that if I was this God would give me something if I gave myself in return, in terms of being like a good girl or something like that. So the God that I had before was unhealthy, but it was more so a self-reliant life like that I led, aside from just, engaging in drinking and drug use. I relied on myself for making decisions, and I felt like it was up to me to change the world. And I didn't know about like sitting still and listening for guidance. So that's what I kind of mean by I was, initiated into the spiritual way of living through AA. And then the second initiatory moments, I guess I call them moments, were the births of my 3 children. Those were definitely intense, but I would say that the first birth was probably the most deeply initiatory experience, because I was going from being a woman who was relatively responsibility free. I had a little dog who always came with me, but she was very easy to care for. And, I was living my life according to my terms and according to just nourishing my own needs, or desires. And there was no real regard for, I won't say there was no regard for anyone else in the world, but, when a child is born and you become a mother, it's a whole new level of responsibility and care that comes from within you outwards. So, yeah, and the physical birth itself was definitely, felt like an initiation, because there reaches a point where you feel like you just can't do it. And then that's when the baby is basically almost out. So don't quit before the miracle is what they say, right? Well, the baby's coming either way, but yeah. So these moments were highly initiatory. And then another moment was when I went fully vegan 4 years ago. My life force just completely skyrocketed, because I dropped all the old ways of how I thought I should be eating, or how I was meant to eat, and which animals were okay to eat. I was able to drop that in favor of what I believed was right, what I believed was right and true. And when I did that, there was something inside of me that literally, I feel like it was my soul just kind of expanded tremendously. And and gave me physical energy and just clarity. I remember just feeling very clear-headed. I was just, yeah, there was nothing more to it. It was a spiritual awakening for sure. And then the last initiatory experience I can think of is this initiation into the blood mysteries and into the magic of harmonizing with our cycles. And this was when I discovered my now mentors, Alexandra Pope and Shawnee Hugo Wolitzer, and they wrote a book called Wild Power, and it transformed my life. As I've said already, even doing the smallest tweaks just basically blew my world open, and I just realized that there's a whole nother way to live, and this is a way that is deeply, deeply, deeply rooted in feminine power, feminine wisdom, and the sacred feminine. So, okay. And I just realized as I'm sharing, I can't look at the chat yet. So I'll check the chat in a little bit to hear your initiatory experiences, but I'm going to continue here. Okay, and I'm seeing a raised hand. So if you have any questions, we're gonna hold those till the end of the presentation. So that way, yeah, I can answer anything. So just maybe make a note of what you wanna ask, or you can type it in the chat and then I can try to get to it at the end here, okay? So the 3 key signs: you are an initiate of the sacred feminine. So I want to be clear here about, the fact that we are all initiates of the sacred feminine. But what I mean by this is, like, especially in the context of this presentation, what I mean by an initiate of the sacred feminine is that you are also called to be working as an ally, as a co-creatress with the feminine. That, you're aware that there's something inside of you that is drawing you forward to live the qualities of the feminine, the deep compassion and just the fiery liberation, whatever it may be. But there's these qualities of the feminine that are calling you forth, and that you want to work with them to help not only yourself heal, but help the world as a whole heal. So let's see what the first sign is. So key sign number 1, nature is your church. So nature is where you feel most you. It's medicine for you. Medicine, it grounds you. It helps you regenerate, and it helps you feel like your soul, your spirit, your physical body is being replenished when you connect with Mother Earth. So, being among the trees and in the forest or by the ocean or swimming in the water, being with animals, this is all nourishment for your soul, for your spirit. And there's inspiration that rises there, and this feeling of belonging and connection that is inherent in just when you go and commune with nature. And yeah, nature is just like, it's a place where you can go to really calm your mind, where you can go to relieve anxiety, fear, anger even. It just soothes your nervous system in a way that not many other things can do. So another thing about nature for you is that it's the beauty of nature is awe-inspiring. So the sounds and the smells and the textures and just the feeling of connecting to the earth. So if you're laying on the earth, this really fills you up with this sense of hope, sense of goodness in the world. And I know that, for me, earth and my connection to earth and Mother Earth is really it's my safe place. It's my refuge. It's where I go to return to trust, not only in myself but in humanity, because a lot of the time with the way things are right now, it's like we can lose hope, we can lose faith. And so nature is your church. It's where you go to be filled up with that faith that things are going to be okay, and that things are all the way are happening the way they're meant to happen, not only in your life but as a whole. So yeah, and I'll just give another example, personal example. You know, when I was living in New York City, I lived there for most of my life. I didn't realize, but I was being drained of my life force, my natural life force, because of the sounds, because of the loud roaring trucks going by and the screeching engines and the you know, just the fumes from the traffic. Oh my goodness, all of that was really getting to me. And when I got pregnant with my first child, my senses became even more open. And so I had to do something about it. And I decided with my husband that we were going to come upstate and just have like a weekend home to recharge, and then we would go back to the city and do our thing there. But once I got up here, I live in upstate New York. I never left. I never went back. I just couldn't. Nature, just being able to step outside my door and go for long walks. And at that point, later, you know, soon after I had my baby, I would just go for these long idle walks, just pushing the stroller. And I was healing from all those years I had been in the city grind, in the city, just concentration of just concrete and not high levels of access to sunlight. All of that, it had depleted me so much. So I just would go for these long walks. And also what happened was I began to really commune with the animals and talk to the animals, and really like start to create and form a reciprocal relationship with nature that I wasn't able to do in the city. And because I was always on guard, and I had this like buffer that I had created around me. And so, yeah, nature is my church. It's where I go to heal. It's where I go to regenerate, replenish. And I would say nature, you know, another thing about nature is that when you go out into nature, you can, you might even need to go out there before like a big project or something in order to receive some last minute aha moments or last minute clarity around, you know, what you need to include in the work that you're doing. So, or whatever you're creating. So nature is just on all levels. It feeds you, it feeds your soul. And I would love to know, put it in the chat, what's nature, how does nature feed your soul? Does it feed your soul? Yeah, what does it do for you? I would love to hear that. Okay, and then moving to the next sign. So you feel called to gather with women. So this is key sign number 2. And yes, there's this fierce inner knowing inside of you that when you gather with women, magic happens. And you're able to really just tap into the power to heal and transform as you witness others around you do the same. I mean, comes up constantly. Like there's this desire and knowing inside of you that you're here to gather with women and to empower each other and nurture each other and sustain each other as you do the work. Because why do the work alone when we can do it together and we can feel safe and held and nurtured as we transform like into our authentic selves. I really just, right now, I just had the image of a butterfly in the cocoon, and just, doing that transformational work to become the butterfly. Like, why not do it in community? Why not do it with other soul-centered women who are, you know, just like you, who are feeling called to do the same? And so, you know, for you, maybe you've attended women's circles, or maybe you've been part of some feminine-based communities online. But either way, there's something inside of you that's pulling you to be in the presence of other soul-centered women, heart-centered women. So yeah, and I guess I will say just a quick example for me that helped me realize that, like, I wasn't scared of women. I was actually wanting women, was wanting to be with women, was when I signed up for a year-long mentorship with a woman named Janet Connor. And she held this container. And I just remember being just even the first call, it was like a teleclass, and we were all in circle, and she passed like an imaginary talking stick, and we each were able to speak our truth, you know, and she was talking about angels and just the spirits. And I was like, oh, this is like, I'm home, you know, I can be myself. I can say what I love. I can not be guarded. It was just a beautiful and fast way to release the chains that have been holding me down for fear of not being approved of or accepted. I was in awe. I was in a community that was so like me, that I was just like, yay, I can relax into this. And that's when the true transformation happens, because you see the other sisters doing the similar work as you, and they're still here, they're still surviving, and it gives you the courage to do the same. Okay. So key sign number 3. You have an ever deepening relationship with your body. You know your body is holy and contains great wisdom when listened to and tended to with great care. And you may have even begun to explore your moon time or time of menstruation as a portal to healing and awakening. So yeah, there's basically 2 levels of deepening here within this sign. And it doesn't matter where you are, but either way, there's a relationship that is formulating between you and your body and the wisdom of your body. So for the first level, it's more basic. It's like you may have just begun responding to those subtle signals from your body, you know, like pain, pleasure, when is your body contracting, when is your body expanding? And this might be a new thing for you, because I know that for me, I wasn't born listening to my body. I was born ignoring my body. And actually, you know, as the years went by, I neglected and abused my body, because I ingested drugs and alcohol, and I also didn't feed it well. I didn't know how to feed myself. So, you know, it doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum, but there's an awareness there. There's an awareness now that your body is sacred, and it's a sacred temple that holds deep, deep wisdom for you. And that wisdom can be in the form of instinct even. So just, you know, what are you naturally drawn to? What are you naturally like turned off by? These are all like really important signals and language from the body. And I think about, there's a poem by Mary Oliver called Wild Geese, and she says in it, you let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. And that to me is what this encompasses. Like you don't doubt your body anymore. You don't really question it. If it's tired, you're like, okay, I need to rest. Yes, things need to get done, but I actually need to rest before these things need to get done. So, and then, you know, in terms of pleasure, you seek pleasure because you know that fostering pleasure within your body, within yourself, is crucial to to embodying, you know, your strengths, to embodying your gifts. We vibrate at a very high level when we're engaging in activities or thoughts or you know, beliefs, even belief systems that bring us pleasure. This also, just like nature, it just soothes our nervous system. So seeking pleasure is definitely a good thing. It's something that when you're wanting to connect with the sacred feminine, that's what you're pursuing. You're pursuing your pleasure. Okay, and let's see. So level 2, I would say the second deepening into the relationship with your body is about, you know, learning about your moon time. You might be curious about this. You might have studied it already. Maybe you've already started to track your cycle. I don't know where you are at on this spectrum, but I know that if you are engaging in a level of awareness with within the relationship of the wisdom of your body, you are definitely enhancing and creating a space for the feminine to come in and to work through you. So let's just see here. I just wanted to make sure that I got all my points across. Yes, okay. So let's keep moving here. And also I would love to know in the chat, and it's such a bummer I can't see what the chat, what's in the chat. Maybe I'll stop sharing for one moment. Okay, so if you want to share in the chat also about your relationship with your body, any experiences, anything that's coming to mind, I would love to hear. Okay, so Melissa's saying nature is where I feel safe to be my fully authentic self. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly how I feel and how I believe, why I believe this is a sign of, you know, wanting the feminine to work through us, or allowing the feminine to work through us. Okay, so let me just start sharing again here. Okay. Excuse the technology. Okay. Here we go. Next. So how do we work with the sacred feminine to save the world, save our world, you know, and how can we be a part of the solution to really restore healing and connection to the sacred feminine? So here we go. The blood mysteries. So we begin with the blood mysteries, in my opinion. It's my strong belief that this is where we connect with the feminine to really change our world, to restore feminine consciousness. Now, Alexandra Pope has a quote here that says, menstruality is a woman's inner intelligence that is working her from her first bleed at menarche throughout her menstruating years into menopause and postmenopausal years. It's leading her home to herself. So that's exactly it. So just like we said with nature, it's leading us home to ourselves, right? So blood mysteries, the cycle, it's leading us home to ourselves. And that's what we want. That's how we save our planet. It feels counterintuitive maybe, but it's a simple truth. If we can be our authentic selves, we can restore the planet and restore the feminine consciousness, because we're breaking those conditioning and programming and those shackles of just that have been holding us back for you know, eons, for centuries, that had been passed down from our ancestors. So stepping into our full authentic selves through our apprenticeship with our cycle is going to allow for that that opening for her to work through us. Now, I'll just add that, you know, we connect to our cycle and this intelligence, so that we connect to the intelligence that she's speaking of, this inner intelligence with a capital I, which is the sacred feminine to me. We connect to this through the practice of menstrual cycle awareness. I'm not going to go deep. I'm not going to go into menstrual cycle awareness right now, but it is a spiritual practice for women, and this is what enables, you know, enables you to engage in this time of initiation with much more ease than most people. So a lot of people are going to be resisting this time, and you know, we can too. But if you're engaging in the practice of menstrual cycle awareness, you're being worked by your cycle every month. And you're going through a process of mini initiations each month where your ego is dying basically at menstruation, and you're being reborn as you exit the portal of menstruation, of your moon time, and you're being reborn into your ego again and individuating as you know, a unique human being with personality traits that are, and characteristics that are different from anyone else. And this is very much supported by your cycle as you travel the current, which is a rising energy in you, to become who you were meant to be, who you were born to be in this lifetime, and what gifts you were here to bring. So you're connecting with your vision, you're connecting with your sacred purpose every cycle. And then once again, as you do that, and you traverse the cycle once again, you come back down to menstruation again, and you're basically annihilated. No, but your ego is dissolved again, and that's why you're more permeable, and that's why it's very wise to shelter yourself, to get into like a cocoon like state and make your environment as cozy and comfortable and nurturing as possible, because you're so permeable, and the veil is to the other realms is that much thinner, and your connection to the divine, to the sacred feminine is very, very strong at this time. And so it's a great time to receive insight and clarity and steps in where you're meant to go on your path. It's also a wonderful time to be able to transmute and alchemize the shadows, the aspects of yourself that you've rejected or pushed away, or unconsciously or consciously have just abandoned, because we practice in menstrual cycle awareness radical self-love and radical self-care. So this really counterbalances those shadow aspects of ourself. And menstrual cycle awareness also helps us to become firmer in our boundaries, and we begin to ask for what we need. Listen, women, we need to ask for what we need. This is something that is a big challenge in my life, and I'm learning ever more deeply to ask for what I need. But I know that there's certain times of the month where I have these qualities within me, these powers within me, where I'm like the truth speaker, and I'm able to use my voice and ask for what I need much more easily than if I were in a different stage of my cycle. So using the different seasons, they call them inner seasons of the cycle, to support you in really strengthening what needs to be strengthened within you. So yeah, and then I guess let's see. let's move on to the next way that we can work with the sacred feminine. So the goddesses. So this is a fun one. So remember and rewild the wisdom of the feminine within you by working with the ancient goddess archetypes. The goddesses are the archetypal embodiment of the sacred feminine. So working with them really helps us to tune in to our feminine nature and all the qualities we seek to embody. So again, we're whole beings, we are, but we've lost touch with certain aspects of ourselves, and certain aspects need to be strengthened. And we can do this through communing with the goddesses, with different archetypes of the goddess. And so as some of you may know, I've been working closely with the dark goddess, and she's really helped me to cut away at what was not aligned with my deepest desires for my life. You know, even though the challenges kept presenting themselves, you know, as the pandemic hit, I was home with my kids 24/7, no childcare, no, you know, it was very different, because before that I had an au pair, I had a live-in nanny and helping me with my 3 kids, and two of them were going to school, so I had that time to to work on my business and to work on my ego and what I desired to kind of manifest in the world. But I was kind of cut down by the goddess, and she said, no, like, this isn't what you truly want. You don't truly want to put in all this time working, and you can do the same level of work and even more just through a higher quality of work versus a quantity. I felt like I needed to put in a certain amount of hours in order to be successful. And that's just not true. And it doesn't apply to my life and my needs right now. My children are still small, and deep down inside, what I really desired was to be with them. And so my ego was kind of like getting in the way of what like my heart wanted. And I have to say, you know, as challenging as it is to be at home with my kids all the time, it's been such a true gift, and it really has helped me re-hone my vision, come back home to center and say, this is what I want, this is how many clients I want, this is, you know, how much time I want to spend working, and this is how much time I want to be with my children. So the balance has arrived because of the dark goddess coming in and burning it all down. And I, you know, at one point I was like, oh, I can't even do this. I can't do this anymore. I can't even be in business because there's just no way. But there is a way, and there is always a way. I had to move from victim mentality into my power, and to really begin to formulate the vision that I really wanted to create for myself, and follow through with that. So yeah, lastly about the goddesses, I'll just say that the faces of the goddess are many, and you can learn about them, you can meditate with them, you can call on them, you can pray to them, you can read about them. It's fascinating literature if you're into that kind of thing. And you know, they each hold different gifts. So whatever you're seeking, you can find a goddess who embodies those characteristics or qualities, and they will support you once they're called on. So it's a fun way to work with the sacred feminine. Okay, animal medicine, another beautiful way to work with the sacred feminine to heal our world. So with the animal teachers, you can step more fully into your truth, into your joy, into your courage, and into your power as you commune with them. And this could be animals in spirit, or this could be animals, you know, in 3D life. But the animals, the plants, the elements, all beings in nature, they hold so many gifts, and they are our teachers. They help us to really let go of all that cultural conditioning, because they are, you know, they're not scared to be who they are. They're not scared to be their true authentic selves. They haven't been conditioned by culture. And so you see a lion walking on the savannah and he's not worried about what others are thinking of him. You see a rose blossoming and the rose is not, worried about, is she blossoming too fast? These beings in nature are our teachers. So they also help us to activate our intuition. And our intuition is a very feminine form of knowing. It's a form that derives from the sacred feminine. So when we are fostering and practicing using our intuition and connecting to the sacred feminine through our intuition, this is strengthening our relationship with her, so we can do the work that we're meant to do. And there's a quote from a Peruvian shaman, and he talks about how his peoples, he's part of the indigenous peoples, they don't use their intellectual capacities to receive messages or to learn which way to go in life, like what their next steps are. They're not using their own intellectual capacities because those are packed with baggage from the past. And so instead, what they do is they listen to original instructions. They listen to the animals and the elements and the mountains and the lakes. And I have a quote here from Archon Lashwala is his name. And he wrote a book named Deer and Thunder. And the quote says, "As Andean people, we have learned not to think alone and to always have someone that we can listen to in those moments when our mind seeks understanding. We learned from our grandparents to think with the coca leaves, to think with tobacco, to think with waterfalls, with trees, with the spirits of the mountains, with lakes, with the sacred spirits that our prayers call. This is a sharp ancient way of using the mind that never leaves me to act on my own, to never shape or influence the world without listening to the voices of the earth expressed through the birds, winds, thunders, and all kinds of visits that always arrive at the precise moment." So yes, I mean, this is part of our calling as we're working with the sacred feminine, is to listen to the voices of the earth. And so working with animals, working with the plant people, the rock people, whoever you're called to work with, this is one of the ways, one of the integral ways to work with the sacred feminine. And in a few moments, we'll take a little journey to meet with a tiny, albeit powerful being, the hummingbird, and we'll practice our intuitive skills and listen to those voices of the earth. But lastly here, I want to conclude this, the main ways we can work with the feminine to heal our world and save our world, and that is through sacred sisterhood. So we come together in community and supportive collaboration with each other to empower, to heal, and to nurture one another. In sisterhood, we create the alchemical container to birth the sacred feminine through us. And this is so true. And so do you remember how I said my intention in the beginning was to bring to connect 1,000 or more women to the divine feminine? And that's because there's a myth that says, and for me, this resonates as so true, that as we gather, if 1,000 goddesses or more, and the goddesses are you and I, if we gather, then we have the power within that container to birth the sacred feminine among us. And so that kind of came to me as an intention. And so yeah, that's pretty cool, I think, and it rings very true for me. So let's see. So as women in community, and I've touched on this a little bit, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but we really you know, as we're birthing this sacred feminine within us, we're birthing all her qualities. So these are much needed qualities right now on the planet. So, you know, the compassion and this wild and nurturing love and grace and forgiveness, all of this is so needed right now. And it's, you know, it's never power over, it's all about collaboration. So when we're in community, that's what we're doing. We're collaborating, we're putting our energies together to alchemically heal ourselves and to heal our mother, the earth. And just remember that, you know, this is in our DNA. We're designed to do this. We're designed to take care of each other. We're designed to be the protectors and the healers and the nurturers of the earth. And so as we do this inner work, the world heals. Okay, so let's do a little meditation. So I'm gonna put in the chat a link to, just stop sharing for 1 second. Okay, so here is a link for some peaceful meditative music. And I'm gonna share my screen with an image of a beautiful hummingbird. And you can play that meditative music alongside in a different browser window as I'm guiding you through this process. So when you're ready, just come to stillness, come to center, and close your eyes. And on the exhale, just release those thoughts that are not serving you. And breathe. Just relax your body, and you can even find an adjustment that takes you 1% more into relaxation. Just 1% more. Breathing, exhaling. Now in your mind's eye, travel to a beautiful meadow of wildflowers and lay down on the earth. Become aware of the contact your body is making with the body of the earth, of Mother Earth. You may even feel a magnetic pull between you and her. This is your mother. She loves you, and she loves when you come to rest upon her. And as you lay there, skin against the earth, you feel her emitting healing pulsations that are rising up from her womb, from her core. And she is sending them up, up, up through all those layers of rock and mineral and water to her surface, the skin of her body, to meet you, to heal you, to regenerate your every cell with her light. And you can imagine this light as a pale pink color, the color of crystal quartz. And your body is being flooded with this soothing, replenishing light from Mother Earth. So just soak it up, soak it in. And now bring your focus to your heart. Here, the pulsating light vibrations from the earth seem to pool and collect and become stronger, forming a vortex of pink light. Suddenly, you feel and see in your mind's eye this vortex becoming the spiral of a rose. The rose is spinning and growing stronger in color and vibration and scent. The smell of this rose is intoxicating. If love had a scent, this would be it. Your chest feels like it's expanding now with the fullness and the depth of the pink rose as it continues to grow in size, opening its petals and blossoming. Now the rose comes to a stop. No more spinning, just a feeling of aliveness, fullness, and abundant beauty within your heart now. And you hear something vibrating above you, so you open your eyes. And there before you, you see a gorgeous little hummingbird. Take in her beauty. Take in those iridescent colors and the speed with which she beats her wings. This is the only bird on the planet who can fly backwards as well as forwards. She makes figure eights dancing as she draws near to you. You realize that she wants to drink nectar from the rose that is within your chest. And because you feel so full, so expanded, so filled with love and light, you welcome her in. As she gently flutters and hovers ever so close to you, you catch her eye as she drinks from the rose within you. As you gaze at her and she at you, you feel that she has a sacred message for you. So you ask her, Hummingbird, the nectar that you are drinking in my heart, what is it made of? What desires, creations, or joys want to come through me and pour forth into the world right now on behalf of the sacred feminine? And listen for your answer. As she finishes drinking the nectar from the rose within your chest, she hovers before you for a few moments. And you ask for one last kiss, a symbol or word or gift from her that represents a distillation of the message you have just received. What is this symbol? What is this gift? This will remind you what your unique role is as you join forces with the sacred feminine to heal yourself and the planet. So hold that symbol, word, or gift closely. Tuck it in your heart pocket. And now it's time to say goodbye. You can thank Hummingbird for her messages and for that final gift. And it's time to come back. So start bringing your awareness back into your body. And you can deepen your breath now. Begin to wake up your toes and your fingers and your body. You can open your eyes. If you want, you can jot down whatever came through to you in a journal or even in the chat. I would love to hear any potent messages came through. Beautiful. Welcome back. Okay. So now, knowing all that you know about whether or not you are an initiate of the sacred feminine and how to join forces with her to save our world, I have an amazing opportunity to travel deeper into sisterhood, into the blood mysteries, and into working with animal spirit guides and the goddesses. And if this is something that speaks to you, hang on here with me a little longer because we're going to be taking a look at the program here together. And I also have some bonuses for the first 3 women who join by today at 11:59 p.m. New York time. So I'm going to put the link in the chat as well. So that you can explore it further on your own. And let me find, and I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, let me turn my little video on. Okay, so this is something I'm really, really excited about. This is a program, a container, a sacred container that came through me, a gift from the goddess, a gift from the sacred feminine. And yes, I'm so excited to share it with you. So it's called Sisterhood of the Black Rose. Awaken the dark goddess and birth yourself anew. A radical 6-month odyssey into the womb of the divine feminine. So in this container, it's a 6-month-long container. There will be opportunities to nourish your feminine soul with the wisdom of your womb. We'll be doing menstrual cycle awareness, and I'll get to that in a minute. We'll be meeting the ancient goddesses of light and dark. We'll unlock our voices to unabashedly sing the song of our soul, banish those lingering fears and ego attachments with precision, be having the help and assistance of our animal friends for that, and really capture and live the essence of your true calling. So how we do this is we travel along the sacred spiral of the Black Rose. So this is I chose the Black Rose because for me, it's just the beauty of the rose is the sacred feminine, and the Black Rose is the dark goddess. And as you'll see, as we travel through the inner seasons of our cycle and we learn about the inner seasons, the inner winter is defined by a time of darkness, or by a time of death and rebirth. So the dark goddess to me is the embodiment of the Black Rose, and the Black Rose, they're very connected for me. So that's why I chose the Black Rose. So we'll be learning about the blood mysteries and how to work in harmony with our cyclical nature. And we will be meeting different goddesses to experience the gifts that they hold for us. And we'll be working with the power and medicine of various master animal teachers. And it's here in the womb of the Great Mother, when we reach the center, when we reach learning about the time of menstruation, the time of the dark moon, the time of the dark goddess, whatever you want to call it. It's here that we're going to be reaching the vortex of infinite and potential love that is the divine. And this is where we are able to birth ourselves anew. This is creation. It's made this way. So when we're working in alignment with our cycle, we are able to really take advantage of this time within our own cycle, or within the cycle of the moon. So are you ready to work with the earthly and cosmic forces of the feminine to shed and release and purify all that needs to die in order for you to be reborn into the woman you know you are meant to be? Are you one of the brave ones, the called ones, the chosen ones, who knows it's time to drop the mask of illusion and to really touch into that calling that that's in your heart, that you've had in your heart forever, and that you maybe have not been able to manifest? And is the fertile soil of your being ripe and ready to evolve into the highest, most authentic version of yourself, to reveal your most potent gifts and legacy? So the feminine wants to be born through you, so she can begin the great work of mending the tattered web of life. But first, the patriarchal ways must crumble, and we need to make space for her imminent birth, this new world that is coming. And you are an integral part of this crumbling. So let's take this time of initiation as an opportunity to really dissolve the fears and the ego attachments that have been holding us back for lifetimes. And if you accept her fierce desire to use you as an instrument to reinstate feminine consciousness, then let's do this. Here we go. If you're ready to say yes, then this is the program for you. So the Odyssey officially begins 1 week from now on August 26th at 2 p.m. with a live call. And just here's a few things about what you will receive in the 6-month exclusive container. And we've talked a little bit about it, but you're really going to be supported and nourished by this intimate sisterhood of like-hearted women. And you'll be receiving bi-monthly transmissions and activations, live activations from me as I guide you to meet the many faces of the goddess, from the Maiden of Light to the Dark Goddess, to the Goddess of the Wild Hunt, and to the Rainbow Warrior Goddess. These all have different powers and different gifts, and we're going to be learning from different animal teachers. And let's see, and tap into your purpose and clarify and unearth your gifts only you can bring. And really begin to feel that satisfaction and joy in life as you're manifesting your purpose. There's nothing like that feeling. And I've mentioned this before, with cycle awareness, you're able to fiercely stay connected to your vision. And you know when the optimal times are for you to be visible and to stand out, and when the optimal times are for you to rest and renew. And we'll be using the powers of the inner seasons to help you bring your most potent soul-led creations into manifest form at the timing that is right for you. And we'll be guided in this rich curriculum, which I created. It was really a transmission from her, which is encoded with this initiatory process within the 12 sessions. So it's inherently initiatory, and it will really produce these results of alchemical healing and transformation. So yeah, there'll be an unforgettable 6 months, and you'll be really guided into dismembering and remembering yourself anew. So if you're ready to say yes, here's a little bit more. Here I go into the curriculum. So basically we start foundationally in the first few petals. I'm calling the sessions petals because we're traveling along the sacred spiral of the rose. And so the first 2 petals will be foundational, and I'll be teaching you about menstrual cycle awareness and introducing you to the Viyas. And then in the following petals, we'll be exploring the inner seasons of your cycle and how you can powerfully and immediately apply the life-shifting knowledge and wisdom from your cycle and from the seasons in your everyday lived experience. And then in the final petal, we'll be holding a closing ceremony for what appears to be an ending, but which is really a new beginning. And you're concluding one cycle, but you're being reborn into the next evolution of who you're meant to be. So here's some more about the curriculum. So this is petal 1, first live session next week, Wednesday, August 26th, the foundational practice of menstrual cycle awareness. We will be planting our sacred intention for the journey ahead. And in that opening ceremony, we'll have sister sharing, and I will be teaching you the bedrock of all practices, menstrual cycle awareness. And if you're not currently bleeding, that's totally fine. I learned menstrual cycle awareness when I was not bleeding, I was breastfeeding. So you can totally track your cycle along with the moon, and it's just as potent. And in petal 2, the second live session, we'll be going into the Viyas, which are the 2 energy currents that make up the cycle. And that's basically the rising energy, the expanding energy, and the contracting energy of the feminine, so the masculine and the feminine. And we'll be exploring those archetypes with eagle and owl. And you'll learn about the Viyas through them and through the teachings, and how best to align with these individual currents of energy. And let's see, petal 3. So third live session will be September 23rd, Your Inner Spring. And this is when we're really going to begin exploring the inner seasons that make up the cycle. And we'll be exploring inner spring with the keeper of spring, who is the maiden of light. And we'll be meeting up with the Greek goddess Persephone, and we'll be receiving transmissions from her on how this phase of the cycle, this phase of new beginnings, and really initiation, because spring is the time of initiation, how this season can support you towards taking action towards your highest vision. And then moving along here, petal 4, October 7th, and we're going to be still diving deeper into inner spring with a rite of passage into menarche, and we're going to be meeting up with Monarch Butterfly, who's going to be assisting us in alchemizing our experience of menarche, because many of us have had either traumatic or just insignificant lived experiences of menarche because of our cultural dominant view of menstruation. We've been basically either shamed for our bleed time, or we have just not learned very much information about it at all. And here we're going to be sharing our experiences of menarche, which is a beautiful way to begin healing. And you'll receive personal coaching from me on how to work with spring as a season to find a self-resourcing energy where you can really heal through new beginnings. You can begin to adapt to this path of self-individuation. So a lot of the time spring is very jarring to come into, to be reborn into. So I'll give you tools to soothe that and to help you mother yourself into spring, into your coming of age, basically within your cycle. And then in petal 5, we'll be exploring your inner summer, and we'll be exploring inner summer with the Egyptian goddess Hathor, and we'll be identifying the sacred powers of inner summer and how to wield these powers. And then we'll be moving deeper into inner summer, and we'll work with Tiger to increase willpower, personal strength, and courage in the face of fear. And we'll be exploring also the archetypal energy of the full moon, and we'll see whether you're allowing yourself to be visible. So this is the full moon and time of ovulation are really the optimal times to be sharing your gifts at a higher level. So we want to make sure that you're taking advantage of those times. And there will be definitely some sister sharing there too, and coaching. And then we're going to be moving into inner autumn and the goddess of the wild hunt. So this is the goddess Artemis, and she is the archetypal embodiment of competence and independence. And she's definitely in alignment with the energy of our inner autumn. When we enter our inner autumn, there's these powers that we have, like truth speaking and creating boundaries for ourselves, and creating space for ourselves to be who we truly are. And she will help us do that. She will bolster that for us. And now in petal 8, live session on December 16th, we'll be moving into inner autumn. We're still in inner autumn, but we're going to be working with Jaguar medicine. And here we'll align with Jaguar's energies of confidence, discernment, supreme focus, and boundaries. And we'll shapeshift into Jaguar to dissolve all that needs to be removed in order to reach the gold beneath. And here in petal 9, this is your inner winter. So we're entering the womb of the dark goddess here. And I'll be introducing inner winter and all the sacred powers the season holds and how to wield them. And we'll be meeting the keeper of winter, the Hindu goddess Kali. And she's the goddess of death, darkness, and destruction. And she helps to activate surrender, trust, and deep rest so that you can receive the medicine of this season, because this season has potent medicine for us. And we're still in inner winter here in the next session, and we're going to be exploring the dark moon and the 5 chambers of menstruation. So we'll be exploring the 5 chambers, which are the void, surrender, renewal, visioning, and clarity and direction. And we'll learn how the dark moon phase can support us to learn how to really release, receive, and purify as we're held by the greater cosmic forces. And there's definitely going to be some sister sharing, really beautiful sister sharing here with your experiences, with your current experiences about menstruation or your moon time. And then we'll go even deeper into winter and have a final retreat and release in winter with the rainbow goddess Ixchel. I don't know if I'm saying her name correctly, but you know, the winter is the home of our true essence. So we can rest here. We can be renewed and regenerated here. And we're going to be working with the Mayan goddess Ixchel to really release any final unnecessary attachments that are holding you back from stepping into your fullest potential. She's a divine, badass goddess. And I've been working with her and it's been very, very powerful. Okay, so petal 12, this is closing ceremony. And the live session will be February 17th. So this will be the conclusion of our 6-month journey together, but it's really the end that is really a beginning. And it's where you are reborn. Closing ceremony and celebration as we prepare to birth ourselves anew. Meditation with our final master teachers, the rising phoenix and the elemental sacred fire. Wow, it started pouring over here right now as I'm concluding the presentation and the container. Wow. So from the sacred ashes of who you once were, just like the long-lived bird who cyclically regenerates, you will rise and be reborn. So yeah, then the investment. I've made it so that it's as accessible as possible with this pricing, and I've chosen to go with 3 different prices. So the first level of investment would be the Maiden of Light package, and this is where you receive the full 6-month-long transformational group program and private online portal, and access to the private sisterhood community, and that's $9.97. And you can pay that in a one-time payment or a 6-payment installment. And then there's the next level of investment, which includes all of the above, plus a 60-minute one-to-one private womb wisdom session with me. And this can be used at any point during our 6-month odyssey together. And this is where we really help you hone in on your creative visions, what your heart's desires are. This is for leaders, change makers, entrepreneurs, wherever you are at in your evolution, professionally or personally. We're going to use the feminine principles of creation within our cycle to bring forth these creations that are wanting to come through us. And yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful way to bring your vision to life, but that is also in harmony with your own unique rhythm of power. And so that's an exciting bonus. And then there's the 3rd level of investment, which is the Triple Goddess VIP package, and that's $15.97, which you can pay as a one-time payment or a 6-pay install. And this is all of the above plus a 90-minute one-to-one womb wisdom session and one custom sacred portrayal. And what that is a digital portrait that you provide And this can be transformed into a very special portrayal that is commissioned by the talented Lucia Dami to instantly activate your inner wild feminine. And I'm going to show you an example of a sacred portrayal in 1 second. So here's the bonuses. The first 3 women who join by today at 12 p.m. Eastern will receive a very special 90-minute one-to-one Unleash Your Inner Goddess Now breakthrough session with me. And this is going to be a fun, deep dive, 90 minutes where I'll guide you to explore your inner depths, and we're going to clarify all your heart truly desires to bring forth at this time. And you'll walk away with a concise action plan, feeling energized and ready to stand in your full goddess power and take those first bold steps that are required of you to live your sacred purpose and legacy. So just a note here, the Sisterhood of the Black Rose is limited to a maximum of 15 sisters. And this is so that I can ensure that it's a highly intimate container and that I can really give you the personalized coaching attention throughout the 6 months that we are journeying together. So this means that those who take quick and decisive action will be greatly rewarded. And here's some testimonials from my beautiful clients and a final invitation. Yes, so my question to you is, are you ready to shine as brightly as the stardust you're made of? Are you ready to create the life that you have always yearned for, but maybe have not been able to step into? Are you ready to stand in your feminine power? Are you ready to receive the support and the commanding support? I like that word. That's a really beautiful way, because that's what it is. The commanding support of this team, of your cycle, the goddesses, the master animal teachers, and your tribe of devoted sisters. Are you ready to be supported, to receive, and to step into the life you're meant to live? I really can't think of any more of a delicious way to travel along life and the sacred, the journey of the sacred spiral into the womb of the feminine. And she's there, she's ready to receive you with open arms. And I love this quote by Anais Nin, who is down there. That's a self-portrait by Anais Nin. I keep her there. It's a present from my husband, because she really embodies this work. She says, and the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. So is that you? Are you ready to blossom? Join us today. I can't wait to welcome you into the circle. And here is a sacred portrayal. This is a picture I provided, and she goes in and turns you into a beautiful goddess. So here I am, a blood moon goddess. So you can receive this if you sign up for the triple VIP package. All right, well, you have the link, and if anyone has any questions, please do not hesitate to email me, to reach out, and just keep in mind that those bonuses are there, and they're expiring. The fast action bonus is expiring tonight at 12 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to get in now. I can't wait to begin this journey with you all. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, and Melissa's saying the links are not coming through. So, thank you, Melissa, for alerting me. I'm going to try one more time. Here's the link for the program. And if someone could let me know if that came through, that would be great. Okay. I'm not sure if, oh, okay, not seeing it, but maybe it's on your end. I'm not sure, Melissa, because no one else is saying anything at this point. So, That's a bummer. So maybe people didn't get the, oh, Lacey doesn't see it either. Okay. I wonder why that's happening. I'm gonna try one more time. And if not, I can tell you what it is because it's my website, which is www.kate-balo.com/sisterhood-of-the-black-rose. So I know that's long, so I'm wishing that it would come through, but let's see. In an email, I'm going to follow this up with an email sending out the replay, and I will definitely have that link in the email. But this is, let's see. So no one is seeing it still? Yes, Melissa, could you post it? That's a great idea. That would be wonderful. For some reason, see, we're collaborating. Yes. And if anyone has any questions, I can hang out here. I'm going to stop the recording now. So yeah, thank you everyone. I'm going to stop the recording, but I'm going to hang out here online if anyone else has any questions.